Hello everyone. So in this video we will take a look at how to approach passage structure based questions. Now passage structure based questions aren't exactly testing you on grammar. So this is the language part of the writing and language test. So these questions will ask you to insert lines in the passage. They will ask you to delete lines in the passage. They can ask you to rearrange the ordering of sentences in a paragraph. So basically, to answer these correctly, you will have to have understood the passage or the paragraph correctly. Now, you don't have to get a very in-depth understanding, but yeah, a decent amount of understanding would be required. Because if the question asks you to provide a conclusion for a passage or a paragraph, then you can only do so correctly if you've understood what the passage or the paragraph is saying. So comprehension will be tested to a limited extent. Always read the question very, very carefully because sometimes students don't read the complete question or don't understand the question correctly and they mark the wrong answer. So read the question carefully. A lot of the times the question will ask you to add or delete lines. So what happens is they give you a few lines or one line and they will ask you whether that line should be added at a particular point in the passage. Sometimes they will highlight a line in the passage and they will ask you whether that line should be deleted from the passage. So then to answer these questions correctly, you need to figure out. Typically, a line is deleted if it contains something which is not within the scope of the passage, or if it contains something which has already been stated earlier in the passage, in which case the line is redundant. And for the same reasons or the opposite of those, you add lines. So you'll have to check for those things. You will get better at these, or you'll get a hang of these as you try a few of these questions. But yeah, you will have to look out for things like, is it within the scope, or is it containing redundant information, whatever it is. You'll also have to again be careful of transitions because sometimes they will ask you to insert a line at the beginning of a paragraph or at the end of a paragraph. Then that line also acts as a transition to the next paragraph. So then you also need to understand what's happening in the subsequent paragraph and put in a line accordingly. So the transitions will definitely be tested in passage structure based questions. So these are broad questions. You will have to understand and read a lot more than you would for a grammar question to answer these correctly, but you will only get 2 or 3 of these in every passage. So you can now continue reading through your book.